hard to think about focusing only on either duties or actions, right? We spent a lot of time talking about how we could think of both. And this week, we want to engage another tension in the work of bioethics, and that is in thinking about sentimentalism.
Okay, so I have finished my lecture recording for Foundations for tomorrow, and we also had this like really cool like moral machine activity, and it was like this website where basically you choose for a self-driving car like one of two outcomes, and like they're both like bad outcomes. It's like choosing, like it's just very interesting. I'll link it below in case you guys are interested. But yeah, so I'm just gonna review the topics that I'm covering for physics MCAT studying for the rest of the week, and that's pretty much it. So I don't know why there's always one day of the week that I forget to video anything, but yeah, Tuesday wasn't too exciting. I took some MCAT notes on kinematics, and I also had my Foundations of Bioethics class where we talked about sentiment and Hume. That's like what I was doing the pre-work for on Monday. And that was a pretty interesting class. It focused a lot on the trolley problem. So yeah. And now Wednesday, I watched some videos on kinematics for MCAT studying, and I'm about to start my clinical ethics class, which today we're talking about hastening death. So things like physician-assisted death and stuff like that. I keep looking down at my bullet journal to see what I'm doing because I don't know what day it is or where I'm supposed to be. So yeah, we're gonna do that now. So we just got back from the gym and now we're going to walk to Target. And I'm going to get my flu shot, which I am already a little late on. And then when I get back, I have to, I'm going to apply to an internship opportunity and do some other things. But today is also a fun day because it's the start of a virtual conference that I'm going to. So I'll tell you guys more about that later. About a 3-mile walk for us, and the walk there usually isn't as bad as the walk back, carrying all the things, and then I regret my choices in life. So our apartment complex has a cute little like beer and pretzels event up on the roof deck, socially distanced of course, and so we're gonna go do that really quick, and then for this conference that I'm attending for the next few days, which is like the American Society of Bioethics and Humanities, pretty sure, they have a like social mixer Zoom event tonight for first time attendance, so we're gonna go do that really quick, get a little bit of socializing, and then come back down and get some more Zoom socializing. So I've never seen a virtual event like this, and it's actually kind of cute. Let me show you guys. So since it's like a networking event, they have it set up so it's like tables, and you can like sit at different tables and talk to different people, and it's quite interesting. I haven't actually clicked on anything or turned my mic on yet because well, social anxiety, but we're gonna see how this goes. So I wanted to tell you guys a little bit more about the conference that I'm virtually attending this week. And I can't really like videotape any of the sessions or anything like that because it's not my content to share. But I figured that I could still read you guys some of the like topics that I've been looking at that I thought were interesting, just to give y'all an idea of sort of what kind of presentations and talks and all that kind of stuff is going on. It is a pretty jam-packed conference. So this is definitely at least my second virtual conference since everything has gone virtual. And this one is definitely a lot more interactive and approaching like normalcy. I showed you guys like how they had structured this little new member like meet and greet type thing with the little tables and you could click around, and that was actually really cool. So yeah, I mean, everyone's doing the best they can with the situations, and I definitely think that the farther you get into the year, the more time that these organizations have to plan for switching to a virtual event. So obviously the farther you are into the year, the more likely it is that, you know, just like new programs are developed to make online meetings feel that way. But it's definitely really one of the silver linings, I feel like, is that more people are getting to go to these types of things. One, usually the attendance fees are lower for the virtual events. And also, you don't have to physically go. So even if the attendance fee is the same, you're not having to pay for flight and lodging and all that kind of stuff that you usually have to for conference attendance. So I used to go to, throughout college, I went to about at least two like national conferences every year. In the fall, I went to APHA, which is the American Public Health Association. I went to their annual meeting, and I have a vlog from when I went this past year because I was presenting this past year. And then in the spring, I would go to the AMWA conference for the American Medical Women's Association. And so it was always like a big thing. Luckily, my my undergrad institution had grants and things like that students could apply for if they were traveling for a conference. So definitely, I know that some schools are still doing those types of things, even for virtual conferences. So I always think that conferences are a great way to network and just honestly kind of like get ideas about what you want to do or what you want to research. When I went to APHA many years ago now, I went and talked to the admissions representatives from dozens of MPH programs, and that was kind of when I actually decided I wanted to get my MPH. I had been kind of thinking about it and going back and forth because I had been doing public health research and I was interested in that. But then talking to all these different programs and hearing about what their programs were like got me really, really excited to actually do it. And I had all of this great information on how to actually apply and how these programs were structured and what I was getting myself into. So it's definitely a great opportunity if you can do it. It's been really cool, especially just entering the bioethics field, like for myself, to kind of see what kinds of topics are out there. So like I said, I pulled a few lists, like a list of a few that I was interested in. And obviously there's so much more than this. And I was interested in so many more things than just this. But just to give you guys an idea of some of the topics at this bioethics conference that I was going to, these are some of the talks or events. So there's current ethical and legal issues in brain death, ethics consults respond to the pandemic, Do clinical ethics consultation policies improve justice? Justice, bias, and suffering in medical education. Reproductive health and sexual relations. Reflections on surgical ethics, notes from the OR. Evaluating and improving graduate medical education. And then they also had a bunch of these like affinity groups. So they're basically like little sub-interest groups. So they had one for medical decision making, public health, Latinx, all kinds of stuff, all kinds of different interest groups, and where you can kind of get to know people a little bit in a little bit smaller of a setting, even virtually. And then, yeah, there's basically just a ton of stuff out there. Pain, opioid use disorder and frontline opioid responders, the culture of medicine, promoting gender equity in academic medicine, being competent about capacity. So literally so much stuff, and being new to the field and being really, young in the field and excited about all the newness of it. Obviously, I was just kind of like having a field day reading through all of the different talks and topics and things like that. So yeah, it can be super, super interesting. Definitely has given me some ideas for paper topics for my classes later on in the semester. So yeah, I think that there's a lot of things that we are grieving and mourning the loss of in this new virtual era of life and academia that we're in. We recently found out that my program is going to be 100% online in the spring semester as well. So this entire academic year is going to be 100% online. And if I had been doing the full-time program, that would have meant that my entire degree was online. So the people who are in the full-time program are understandably very upset about that loss. I am too. I'm hoping and crossing my fingers that I will also get the opportunity to go in person for my second year, but honestly, that's still up in the air too. So I think that, like I said, there's definitely a lot of things that we're mourning and grieving and trying to find the silver lining. I think that being able to connect with people and go to events that you might not normally have been able to go to could be a silver lining. I am just trying my best to be positive about the state of the world right now and try my best to do everything I can for myself and everything like that. So if you guys watched my vlog from last week, I have been a little bit behind on my MCAT studying already. This is week 2 and I'm already a little bit behind. So I think it's a little bit easier to reach burnout and like just mental fatigue during these times. So I have definitely been in a little bit of a slump, and if you guys have too, then just know that you're not alone. I'm there with you. A bunch of other people are there with you. So this kind of turned into a little like sit down rambly rant time, but I think that on that note, I will end the vlog here. But I wish I could have shown you guys more of kind of what the virtual conference looked like, but again, it's not really my content to share. So I hope that, sharing some of the content and topic ideas gives you a little bit of insight. And if you guys have any questions, always feel free to message me on Instagram, leave a comment down below. And if you want to keep seeing what my grad school MCAT studying life is like, then you know what to do. Subscribe, follow me on Instagram, all those things that you guys already do best. And I will see you next week.